Hey everybody, Banya here again to bring you another first impressions video. This time looking at Tales of Maj'Yeal? I probably butchered the title, so going beyond that, I'm gonna say the usual stuff again. This game was given to me free of charge and technically not even for a video or review. I just sort of opened my YouTube account, or YouTube email account, and saw there was a key there waiting for me on Gmail, and with a bit of an info dump on what to expect. When asked a few questions, they didn't expect a video, but thought it'd be natural to do one, so why not? Playing the game for a while now, I can safely say that I am gonna definitely make one of these because it was fun. Now the usual stuff of they're offering absolutely no monetary compensation for this in any way, so no money is being exchanged hands here, I'm not being paid for this. As well as the main reason I would ever do this, they, if I did a video for them, wanted my honest thoughts on this as well. So, with no reason to not play a free game, I decided to give it a shot, and oh man, I was not expecting this at all. Tales of Maj'Eyal, I'm gonna call it Maj'Eyal, is interesting. Having never heard of it before, I went ahead and took a look at the Steam page for the game, and it was boasting a 95% positive review overall, and I immediately was taken aback. Even more so seeing the game release date of December 31st of 2012. Granted, the email did say it was the update 1.5, it still threw me for a loop on what to expect. Briefly looking deeper, it was a roguelike RPG with a staggering, 1,638 Steam achievements. I held back the temptation of actually trying to see what they all were and just went ahead and downloaded the game. Normally in this video I would have a highlight about the game and explain it all for those kind of things, but for this, I think I'm going to talk about my first experience with the game first, just so you can understand a bit more about why I don't think I could do that, and why it's probably better for me to say this anyways. Opening the game for the first time greeted me with some nice music and a link my account to their online site. Initially, it didn't want to work for me. Then I realized I had to make an account on their site first, and then link the game to it, despite the game actually showing me a register text button option. But after hitting New Game, it showed me what I was really getting into. A character creation screen with selectable campaigns, a difficulty choice, and even a permadeath option. I left it on the default, making my starting campaign Maj'Yeal the Age of Ascendancy, the difficulty being normal, and the permadeath option being adventure. To break it down a tad bit, normally roguelikes have a permadeath sort of setting where sometimes they just feel like you're making no progression at all, but the game resets onto itself. But with this adventure mode, you will get a certain number of lives as you hit milestones in the game based on levels and possibly in-game events and items. After that were the actual character creating options. It gave me the standard option of human, elf, halfling, and dwarf, along with the classes options being warrior, rogue, mage, defiler, and psionic. I was tempted to start with a psionic, but something held me back. I was a bit curious about the other classes as I often normally take, and I wanted to be a ranger. As another note, these weren't the only options possible, just the ones available, as the race option had 3 or more with a locked text along with it, and 5 of them for other classes. So I went ahead and tried to make a warrior instead, since there was no archer, but then I saw it wasn't a single class, but sort of like a specialization system of a drop-down menu. Selecting warrior opened the menu and showed berserker, bulwark, archer, and arcane blade, and another locked subclass, each with their own summary including preferred stats investments, stat modifiers for the class, and life gained per level. Checking again, even the races had this, with humans being divided into higher and Kornak. I'm assuming I said that right. Not knowing what to do, I said anything is fine. I went ahead with a Kornak because they gained extra talent points every couple of levels and had no negative stat modifiers or experience penalty. By the way, this game has experience penalties. And thus started the adventure of Ranger the Archer. I'm not creative with naming characters. The controls were strange at first, with me fumbling around trying to click to move and then learning that the arrow keys are used to move and not WASD like I'm used to. Then in a shocking surprise to me, I saw the chat log appear in the bottom right of the screen, with people talking about the game, and the game letting me know when they had gotten achievements and when they had died. I wonder if it was going on the approach of Rome of the Mad God with everyone in a world, but segmented by campaigns and such, but I tossed that thought aside and moved forward. Who would do that? Having a ranged attack made the first few encounters pretty easy, with the only thing wanting to fight me were varying colors of snakes, bees, foxes, and a ball of worms that just had the objective of killing me on sight. On the bottom left were a few of my skills for the class after I had picked my initial stat investments, and skills to start with, making it very easy to find them, and even setting them to the number bar above my keyboard for just easy access. Not that I remembered to actually use them in my first run. Initially, Ranger just walked around shooting anything he had line of sight on, and occasionally finding stuff on the ground just to pick up. The first real problem happened when I found myself trapped in a forest area with a troll, bunny, and a mouse? Or some rodent-like thing. They'd cornered me and proceeded to show me that this place wasn't exactly a welcoming area. On my first death, I was not actually killed permadeath-wise, but teleported to a void area where a humanoid light thing was waiting for me. It offered me the option of resting for a while, returning to send me back to that area, or actually teleporting me out of that area in case I was in too deep, or even just saying, you know what, I'm done, end me, kill me. But Ranger wasn't a quitter, so we eagerly went back to the land of the living, only to find out that it teleports you back to the exact location with the enemy still there, and with regened HP. But this time, Ranger was prepared, and using a skill, she jumped away from the troll and kited it bit by bit, doing the tried and true method of hit, run away until it died. Then the game revealed to me I had to complete a quest that I didn't even know I had. I've been skipping a few of the text prompts accidentally due to me getting to the control layout, so that's probably why. Also, then I learned that I had leveled up to 5 and had skill points I should distribute during the time. And that the troll that had tormented me so was a full 5 levels higher than me, with him being level 7. Suddenly made a lot more sense why he got killed so quickly. After that, Ranger got a bit more skills into his levels and a few points into his stats to make him a bit better at avoiding the whole entrapment situation, and moved on to another part of the forest to find even more trolls waiting for him. Thankfully, he had leveled up a bit with proper skills, and now even better, a narrow area where he could only get hit by one thing at a time. Kiting backwards, he defeated the trolls, and again, we're informed that he completed yet another quest, and been awarded something called a transmogrification chest? Which would instantly pick up anything we walked over without affecting our encumbrance. By the way, the game had an encumbrance system. And even better was that objects in the chest didn't do anything to our encumbrance total, and upon exiting the area, would ask if we wanted to keep anything in our inventory, and if not, sell everything in the chest for some money. It told me our future characters would start with this as well, so that was just excellent. No matter what happened now, Ranger had left his mark and had a successful adventure. Still, he wanted more out of life, as he was still only a level 6 archer, and the chat had shown me people up to level 50, so why not go farther? So, hungry for more, Ranger went into a nearby cave system and proceeded to discover that the walls are lined with crystals and even more balls of worms trying to kill him, only slightly stronger. Here, though, were some new enemies that use ranged projectiles, and also showed me something that I didn't know about the game. While the game is turn-based in that everyone gets one action before another goes, every skill has a percent attached to it, meaning that you can do more than one thing in a turn as long as that doesn't go over 100%. Also, these new enemies would fire once they had line of sight on me with their ranged projectiles, but they weren't instantaneous. It would take more than one turn for the projectile to reach me, and in between that moment you could actually walk in and out of range from them to try and break line of sight, as well as dodge any projectiles that were lobbed your way. Of course, it didn't help much that there were several of them here at once, and Ranger found himself getting surrounded by multiple enemies and discovering a new thing to worry about: status ailments. Enemies here had a few trick up their sleeves with poison shots and even effects like dizzy, weakening him, resulting in lost turns, and even blinding effects, removing all enemies from the screen while they attacked him and him being unable to actually see where they're coming from. Here, Ranger faced snakes, bears, those ranged ghost enemies, and even dragons pushing him to his limit, and even getting him another level. Now he was 7. But unfortunately, it couldn't prepare him for a quest that appeared where someone wanted to escape and we had to cover them. Some thieves appeared to run him down with Ranger unable to distract them all, and resulting in that NPC's death. Then the thieves found something else to hunt. Me. As a final gift Ranger could give to us, he fought long enough for us to learn that one of the people attacking us was actually a summoner, a wilder, and unlock the class for ourselves in the future run. But after that, he was cornered and killed over and over until we had no more lives. The adventure of Ranger, the Archer, was done. Now, 1 hour into the game with only one character down, I wanted revenge. Ranger will not die in vain like that. So, we quickly went ahead and made a new character that will try and get farther than him, and make a few more items in his honor. Funny enough, only then did I notice a tutorial button next to the character creation tab, which would have answered a lot of my problems earlier. So after running that, then we made the next adventure. An elf Thalnor berserker named Bob. He marched forward armed with knowledge Ranger didn't have about the game, and with some good strength stats to ensure that he did harder, and points of constitution to ensure that he could take a few more hits as well. In his starting force, there was even more snakes, foxes, wolves, and that ball of orange wanted more blood from us. Now this time, the big boss in the area wasn't a troll, but a bear that attacked Bob at only level 2. The bear being level 8 was pretty intimidating, but Bob had a strategy. He stood still in a narrow passageway, forcing them to hit him one at a time, and he counterattacked until everything was dead. He leveled up 4 times now, and Bob got some points under his belt and adventured onward past the forest and again into a sort of swamp area called the Heart of Gloom, where mushrooms peppered the ground, and it was so dark you couldn't see past the rows of them. Not even a few steps in the first area, the enemies came in to greet him. A few rats and some other animals. They couldn't face Bob until the ultimate enemy of the area heard the sounds of violence and came rushing in. There, in front of Bob, was the ultimate test of strength this area could offer. A rat, with the rank of rare, came charging at him with the terrifying power stat of 44. In 3 hits, Bob was down. And in the void was the light man again. Not wanting to die to such an enemy, he went back and began kiting as best he could. But the rat was too small and fast to get hit by Bob. And then it was the end. Bob died 4 steps away from the ladder to a rat that wielded the most power we had seen in the game thus far. Now, being caught up with my experience with the game, I can say some stuff about it. This game will take some time to get into. After my first new character deaths, I looked around for maybe a guide or a breakdown of the mechanics, and was led to their actual site with several posts explaining the game and how you would tackle the world. In one such post, I found a phrase that just about sums it up. Welcome to Tome! Your deaths will be numerous and often, but don't let that discourage you. Everyone dies. As well as another one disclaiming, Tome involves a lot of reading, and so does this guide. There is no TLDR. My earlier troubles could have all been settled by sitting down and learning some more beforehand, before going in and having Ranger and Bob die needless deaths. Being only 3 hours in, I can't really offer much in terms of bullet points or even a critique, but at the first impressions, I'm going back in to avenge Ranger and Bob. I can't think of a reason not to. The game captures the feel of old RPGs in visual and story presentation, with everything in the world from enemies to the items having a story behind how they got there and lore everywhere to be found. Knowing as little as I do now, I can't say anything definitive, but I will go back in my off time to take another character deeper into the world and unlock more races and classes, and just maybe a few achievements on the way. If my story of Ranger or Bob or anything you see here interests you, give it a shot. And if only the story interests you, give it a shot anyways. At $6.99, the amount of content you get for the price of admission is astounding. And even more surprising is that as I'm writing this, And even more surprising, as I was writing this, I saw that the game had Steam Workshop with a few files already up there, which probably should have been evident considering the date that it was actually released. Reflecting now. But they have several things that are actually pretty cool, from improved UI and text to even personalized and customized races and classes. I can easily see myself playing this on stream to make more stories when the regular games are done, and see myself losing hours here as I try to make more stories and adventures into the game to see what else it has for me. A huge thanks to those who gave me the game to look at, as I doubt I would have actually ever found it myself without them. To those that want to buy it, I'll put a link in the description for you to actually go and get it yourself. While I haven't played enough yet to give it a solid recommendation, I can say it was fun the entire time I played it, and for me at least, a game that I didn't even know existed that I had wanted for a long time. Now I'm going to get back to recording and editing more videos for you guys, and while those are rendering, I will be playing this game to pass the time. Maybe, if you want, I can record some of these little adventures for you guys in the future. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'm so new to the whole script writing and actually editing these kinds of things, but at the very least I hope I showed you what got me into this game. Hope to see you all around, and stay awesome, everyone! God, it's really strange trying to write these things and even say it here just like to nothing, not even gameplay. Yeah.